High uric acid doesn't announce itself with flashing lights or loud sirens. It doesn't always hurt. In fact, most of the time, it doesn't show any symptoms at all. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Most people only find out their uric acid is high after the damage has already begun, when the pain becomes unbearable, or when organs quietly start to fail. But uric acid doesn't just turn toxic overnight. It accumulates. It irritates. It hardens. And it relentlessly punishes neglect. Today, we're going to break down what really happens when your uric acid is high, why it's about so much more than just gout, and how ignoring it quietly sabotages your health from the inside out. No fear tactics, no myths, just the clarity you need. First, what is uric acid really? It's not a poison by default. It's simply a waste product that your body makes when it breaks down purines. Purines are natural compounds found in certain foods, but they're also released when your own cells die and get recycled. Under healthy conditions, this process is seamless. The uric acid dissolves in your blood, passes through your kidneys, and leaves your body in your urine. Problem solved. But the trouble starts when your body either produces too much of it or can't get rid of it fast enough. That's when it begins to build up. Now, let's talk about the biggest lie people believe. Most people think high uric acid only matters if I have gout. That belief is dangerously outdated. Gout is just the loudest, most painful consequence. It's not the only one. High uric acid secretly affects your joints, your kidneys, your blood vessels, and your metabolism, raising inflammation levels throughout your entire body, long before any pain ever shows up. So, what happens first? Crystal formation. When uric acid levels get too high, it can no longer stay dissolved in your blood. It starts to crystallize, forming microscopic, needle-like structures. These tiny, sharp crystals then deposit themselves in your joints, in the tissue surrounding them, and even in your kidneys. And these crystals don't just sit there politely. They irritate everything they touch. They trigger inflammation and provoke your immune system into launching an attack. Your body sees them as foreign invaders, and that's when the war inside you begins. This leads us to stage 1, silent hyperuricemia. This is the most deceptive phase of all. Your uric acid is high, but there are no symptoms. You feel completely normal. If you get a blood test, the high number might be ignored, or a doctor might just say, "Let's just watch it." But damage doesn't need symptoms to get started. During this silent phase, those microcrystals may already be forming. Inflammation can start to increase inside your blood vessels, and your kidneys might already be straining to keep up. Remember, silence is not safety. It's just a delay. Stage 2 is when things get loud. Joint inflammation and gout attacks. When enough crystals have lodged themselves in a joint, the immune system reacts violently. This causes sudden, intense swelling, excruciating pain, redness, and heat, making it almost impossible to move the affected joint. Gout often strikes the big toe, but it can also hit the ankles, knees, or fingers. The pain is infamous for a reason. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The pain itself isn't the disease. It's just the alarm bell, the immune response. If you only suppress the pain without lowering your uric acid levels, you're guaranteeing it will come back. This brings up a common question. Why do gout attacks come and go? Many people think that once the pain is gone, the problem is gone. That's wrong. The crystals remain in your joints, even after the symptoms fade. They're just waiting for a trigger. Things like dehydration, drinking alcohol, eating a heavy meal, or even just being stressed can reignite that fierce immune response at any time. Each attack you have increases the joint damage, builds up more crystals, and fuels chronic inflammation. Gout becomes a repeating cycle, not a one-time event. If this cycle continues, you enter stage 3, chronic joint damage. Over time, that repeated inflammation starts to cause real, lasting harm. It erodes your cartilage, leads to joint stiffness and deformities, and reduces your mobility. Some people even develop visible lumps under their skin called tophi, which are large, chalky deposits of uric acid crystals. At this point, the damage is often no longer reversible. This isn't just arthritis from getting older. This is the result of metabolic neglect. Now, let's talk about the kidneys, because this is where the conversation gets really serious. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering out uric acid. When your levels stay high for too long, those sharp crystals can form inside the kidney tissue itself, leading to kidney stones. Uric acid kidney stones are extremely painful, tend to come back, and are a clear sign of a deeper imbalance. Over time, chronically high uric acid is a major contributor to chronic kidney disease. And just like with your joints, kidney disease usually doesn't hurt until it's already advanced. Again, silence doesn't mean safety. There's also a cardiovascular connection that most people don't know about. High uric acid is strongly linked to high blood pressure, stiffening of the arteries, and damage to the inner lining of your blood vessels. It does this by promoting oxidative stress and inflammation inside the vessels, which makes it harder for them to relax and properly regulate blood pressure. The end result is an increased risk for both heart disease and stroke. So, you see, high uric acid isn't just a joint problem, it's a vascular problem too. And it doesn't stop there. Uric acid often rises alongside other metabolic issues like insulin resistance, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and fatty liver disease. This is no coincidence. It's a vicious feedback loop. High insulin levels make it harder for your kidneys to get rid of uric acid. In turn, high uric acid makes your body more resistant to insulin. Ignoring your uric acid levels makes every one of these metabolic conditions harder to manage and control. Many people are told, just avoid red meat and seafood, but that advice is incomplete. Yes, foods rich in purines do matter, but so do other major factors. Fructose, especially from sugary drinks, is a huge contributor. Alcohol, particularly beer, is another. And so are dehydration and poor kidney function. Fructose is especially sneaky because when your body metabolizes it, it directly generates uric acid as a byproduct. This is why a sugary soda can be just as bad, if not worse, for your uric acid than a steak. Ultimately, high uric acid is a powerful inflammatory signal in the body. Even before crystals start to form, just having elevated levels in your blood activates immune pathways and promotes tissue damage. Chronic inflammation is the fertile soil where almost all chronic diseases grow. High uric acid is like fertilizer for that soil. Because of all this, many people are treated far too late. Treatment often only begins after the first excruciating gout attack. But by then, the crystals are already established. Organs are under stress, and the body's systems are already disrupted. The most effective action is preventive action. Waiting for symptoms to appear is a losing strategy. It's easy to fall into the mental trap of thinking it's just a number on a lab report. But those numbers aren't abstract. They reflect real chemical stress and a real long-term risk to your health. Dismissing elevated uric acid because you feel fine is like ignoring the smell of smoke because you can't see the fire yet. By the time you see flames, it's much harder to gain control. So what actually helps? It's not about miracle cures. It's about a smart strategy. You need to support your kidneys so they can eliminate uric acid effectively, reduce the overproduction of it in your body, and lower overall inflammation. Consistency is what matters here, not intensity. Quick fixes will always fail in the long run. Looking at the bigger picture, high uric acid is a signal. It's your body telling you that it's overloaded and out of balance. When you ignore that signal, it damages your joints. When it's prolonged, it strains your kidneys. When it becomes systemic, it threatens your heart. Treating it early isn't being aggressive, it's being intelligent. High uric acid doesn't ruin your health suddenly. It does it quietly, patiently and relentlessly, until one day, your body demands your attention with pain. Listening to the early warnings is wisdom. Waiting is a regret you don't want to have. If this changed how you see uric acid, share this video. Someone you know probably thinks it's just gout, until it isn't. Thanks for watching. Stay informed and stay ahead of your health.